Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at a charger that I got recently. I haven't opened it yet. I've actually went and got a few batteries from there was a guy who's selling on Facebook Marketplace it's used laptop battery packs, and he says that guarantees that 70% of them will be fine. So I've went and got them, and there's one of the boxes that I've got of the 18650s. Those ones I've charged using a single battery charger, and they charged well. So far so good. Haven't measured them. Then I thought, well, it's going to take, I've got a few of those boxes, and I thought it's going to take me forever to do one by one every day. Each one can take like 4 or 5 hours to charge. So I went online and I found that you can get this charger that can test the battery capacity and everything for you. So let's open it up. I can already see I can feel it. They included the death adapter, as Big Clive would call it. One of those. Very dodgy one. I wouldn't use it. As you can see, it's just touching the contacts. So that's going to go straight to the bin. And here is the charger. It is a, what is it? BT-C3100 version 2.2. So apparently it's a smart charger. Let's have a look what we got. The instructions on a few pages. No pictures. I thought it was going to have pictures, but it doesn't have pictures. We got the power supply. Power supply seems decent. You can feel some weight to it for sure. So usually you get those really, light ones, but this one you can tell it's actually heavy plastic, and maybe it's a decent power supply. So it's 12 volts, 3 amps. Okay. Now let's check out the charger itself. Okay, so there's a charger. I would expect to be a film on there, but no, there's no film. They are spring-loaded. Got a little fan, 12-volt power supply. So I guess let's plug it in first and see if it works, and then we'll open it up and have a look what's inside. So I've got here 12 volts, 3 amps power supply. It's actually from one of those smart modems. It's a good power supply. So let's plug it in. Okay, so display lit up. So far so good. I'm going to take 2 of the charged batteries and put them in. See what happens. So it tells you the voltage as you put it in. And it says it's charging at 500 milliamps. So I'm going to take 2 of the bad batteries. Well, they're not bad, but I know they get hot during the charge, and I'm just out of curiosity going to put them in. See what happens. Okay. So it tells you the current they're charging at. I'm just going to quickly read through manual and see how we can put it in a quick test mode. I've read the manual, and while I was reading, you can see the current's been dropping kind of on the first battery because it's fully charged. The second one's still at full current. So if you press display, it will let us go through voltages. How many milliamps is already put in the battery. The times you place, so you can tell I've been reading for about 8 minutes. That's again back to the first menu. So current will let you, well, I can't do it now because it has to be done within 10 seconds, so I have to take the battery out. So for example, I'll take this one out, and then I'll put this back in, and then I can go to the slot and I can select the current that I want to charge it as. So 1 amp, 200 milliamps, that's it. And then it'll start charging. So we're going through display. Through current slot, we'll select either first slot, second slot, third, fourth, or all of them. So you can change the settings for all the batteries. And then mode, I think you have to hold it down. So you can discharge, you can refresh. So I'll explain refresh in a second. Charge test and quick test. Let's go for quick test. I don't think you have to apply. I think you just leave it like that and it'll automatically go for it. Yeah. So quick test will display the internal resistance of the battery, I believe, in milliohms. Is that right? Yes. Okay, so quick test is just does the resistance, it tells you in milliohms the internal resistance. Then the charge, obviously charging it. Discharge will discharge the battery and tell you, you know, all the parameters, what is done. Refresh will discharge and charge batteries for 3 times to refresh it apparently, then I'll show you the capacity. And then charge test, I think it's going to discharge, fully charge it and then discharge it and show you the capacity of the battery. So I'm pretty sure that's how you select it. So also it apparently has the heat protection on the board. So when if the batteries get hot or the board get hot, the fan on the back here will automatically turn on and cool it down or something, but it does have overheat protection. Another thing, it's not just a lithium battery charger, you can also do nickel metal hydrate and nickel cadmium batteries in it too. It'll automatically detect the battery, and if it detects like nickel metal hydrate, for example, it'll charge it and then it'll keep trickle charging it. If it detects the lithium, it will charge it fully and then stop. However, if the battery voltage will fall to 4.12 volts, it'll start charging the lithium again. Another thing that low voltage, I don't think you can change it, but apparently the discharge voltage on the lithium polymers is 2.8 volts, the cutoff voltage. So I am not sure. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in charge. I'll put the 4 blue batteries and I'll put them in discharge refresh mode, and I'll leave it overnight and I will tell you in the morning the results. But before we do that, we're going to pull it apart. I'll unplug it. We'll pull it apart and have a look inside. So the screws have been magically removed and I've left a few springs on, well, one spring on, just to show you. So the back magically comes off and we've got a really nice circuit board with lots of jig test points here. It's a chip-on board. We've got a capacitor for it. The springs are loaded here, as you can see. It's just a spring. So I've disconnected 3 of them, so I'll do the last one. It's very easy, just to unhook it. There's a fan. I'll disconnect that as well. Those parts are slightly siliconed on, the springs are siliconed onto the rod itself, the little stick. So let's try taking the board out. I haven't actually taken the board out just yet. It's almost like something's holding it in the back here. Probably those positive terminals, I think, yes. Okay, oh, well, they didn't lie about the thermal protection. I don't think I can really take it out like that. So there's 4 thermal sensors that are mounted to the bottoms of the batteries. So what are they here? Oh, those things are falling off now. I'm actually gonna, you know what? I will spray a bit of a lubricant cleaner on those tracks. So those are the ones that are sliding, just so they don't make this annoying noise. Then let's see. So you can't really see where the sensors are here, but they under those positives, see the positive, and just underneath is where the sensor is. That's the buttons. So we've got the display, backlit display here. 4 tactile buttons for the switching. That's the negative, so it's not just spring-loaded, it's also riding on that track here. We've got, what are those chips? P3484 is those chips. I guess they charger chips, I haven't checked it. What else do we have here? Nothing on this side, so everything else is all on that side. So lots of diodes, chip on board. Unknown chip here, doesn't have anything on the board. Voltage regulator, capacitor, a couple of inductors, and that's it. But overall, I'd say it's not a bad unit. The only thing, I don't see how that fan would be cooling the batteries. So there is no really... I can see that the airflow would probably can go through the sides, around the board and into the fan if it's sucking, or if it's blowing, it's the same way. But I don't really see how that can be cooling the batteries. Yeah, so the fan is just for internal board, it's not for the batteries. Alright, I'm going to assemble this together, stick some batteries in, put them on the refresh, and we'll see what happens. There is something I also forgot to mention. There's a little switch here on the side, and it says 4.2, 3.5, and 3.7 volts. So here it is right here. And that's actually, from what I believe, it's not in a manual obviously because it's internal, but that's your battery voltage selector. So you can select it to charge it to 4.2 volts, to 4.35, which is quite high, or to 3.7. So that's if you ever need to change your voltage for whatever reason, you can open it up and there's a little switch here, slider switch. Here's the charge on the last cycle. It's, as you can see, the second battery is charging for about 2 hours now, for 5 hours. The last one, I think, is 2.5 hours, around that. So that's the time. It's on the last cycle. So if I press that, it's charging currently this battery as at 100 milliamps, around that. The last one is still charging at 500. I think the last one is the dodgy one. Then we've got the voltage of the batteries, current one, so this one is almost charged. This is the capacity of the batteries. So those ones, this one's about 900 milliamp, 1.9 amps, pretty much, 1900. This one is 1750, so, and that's how long they've been charging on at the last cycle. So that's the charger. So far I'm pretty happy with it, and it did get warm, the fan did turn on, and then it went off again, so that's been on charge for about maybe now 24 hours or so, in that mode where it's a refresh mode. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that charger. I recommend it if you got tons of those batteries and you want to play with them, get that charger. So here it is. I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Max. Bye.